It was okay. You know, we all right. Where Miss Clark at? Hey,
Right here.
there she go. Hey.
Hi.
Okay.
Probably still don't realize that we're even here. Akat Kanum Kufu. No matter what you've been taught, or even what you've been taught to believe, you have.
Right.
Did not exist. That structure. Still the greatest structure and
Master
math
teacher right there.
on planet Earth. Akat Kufu. They're just in shock as they're coming up, so I understand. I was the same way. That's the awesome power that don't expect it don't have on you.
African indigenous people do this.
Now see the advantage of getting up early?
Yes.
Do you feel shoe?
Yes. We feel shoe. The wind.
There.
Sherry know about shoe. Right? Sherry, you know about shoe.
I know, but like not necessarily.
What are y'all looking at?
Is that Haru up there?
All right, well, Hotep, brothers and sisters.
Hotep.
Here you're standing before the greatest structure built by the Kemetic Africans of the Nile Valley over 4,000 years ago. Here, Akat Kanum Kufu, what you're looking at is 7 million tons of masonry, 2,300,000 stones. I said on the bus that I was on, now they are saying that that's double that. In fact, a mathematician did a calculation that they took all the stones to New York, Los Angeles, and halfway across the country. These structures have baffled the mind of many who have come into them. For many of the Europeans who first came from the Greeks, Herodotus, who first came here, this structure did not look like it looks today when he came in around 450 BCE. When he came, it had its original white limestone. What you're looking at is the rugged. Look, down at the base, that is the white limestone that covers the whole Mur. As I said, that's the Kemetic name for what is referred to as pyramids today. One can imagine what it looked like back during that time. When Ra, meaning the sun, would hit the white limestone, those who were coming out the desert, it would look like a star off into the distance, as they saw it when they saw it up there. At the very top, you can't see it from here, but that's the rod that gives you the complete height of this great Mur of 481 feet. His son, you'll go in a few minutes, that is Khafra. That is 471 feet. It's 10 feet shorter, but it appears larger because he built it on a higher plateau. But where you are right now, they use the science of geodesics. Geodesics gives us the land mass of the planet Earth. Now, England said that they are the center of the Earth. England is not the center of the Earth. For those of you who are from England, you know about the Greenwich, and they just made that up. But when you look at science and spread out the Earth, we are right here, geodesics right here in the center of the Earth where we see right here, brothers and sisters. Now, the name Akat means the sun rising. Now, what Khufu did, if you look right in the center of the Mur, or pyramid, you see a little symbol that looks like this here. All right, you see first you'll see an arch, and look up under the arch, you'll see the symbol of the Akat. See the Akat? Yeah. Now that's the symbol that you're going to see on the great Neterhets, or divine houses, or temples when we get into Upper Egypt. So what's important about that symbol is that when you get into Upper Egypt and you see all the Neterhets, or the temples, They are designed from that Aket. That means the sunrise, today and yesterday, meaning that if you got up early in the morning, right before the sun came up, that's the divide of the sun coming out of the dark, coming into the light. So that is the symbol of the Aket, the most powerful symbol. So that's where Khufu gets his name, Aket Khufu. Aket Khnum Khufu. People think of the pyramid, they call this pyramid the Great Pyramid, is that right? But actually the name of Great came from his son Khafra. His represents great, it means meaning great. This one here represents Aket, okay, meaning the sunrise. And then we have the third one, that is Khufu's grandson, Menkaura. So we have Khufu, Khafra, Menkaura. How many pyramids are in the Giza Plateau?
9.
You have to include the wives. So that means there are 9. Most of us are familiar with the 3. But there are 9 pyramids in the whole Giza Plateau. Even though it's called the Giza Plateau, it was not called that in ancient times. What was it called in ancient times? It was called the Rasta. In the sacred text of ancient Kemet, it speaks of the Per Im Haru, that this was the Rasta, like a portal, so to say. A portal for what? A portal for the Nesu, meaning king, to leave this earthly realm to go into the spiritual realm. That spiritual realm was connected with the cosmos. And a specific place in the cosmos was the constellation of Orion. And Orion represented a
Seen it
star.
last night, right?
In the Zep-Tepi, or the first time of ancient Kemet's creation story, here we see long before Genesis and long before the mythological allegorical story of Adam and Eve. Here, the first story that was told was the creation story of a Sar and a Set. By the way, who were created simultaneously. There was no misogyny that a rib was taken from a Sar to make a Set.
Right.
They were created based off the Mahathian law of balance. They were created simultaneously. So the whole foundation of Kemet is based off of that spiritual story, and to keep that story alive, the cosmos played a major role with that. So a Sar represented Orion, and a star in ancient Kemet called Sebo Septa represented a Set. And there that was represented as the spiritual mother and father in ancient Kemet. That laid down the foundation of the whole dynastic time period of ancient Kemet that we're going to get into. When we get into Upper Egypt, and you get into those spectacular Valley of the Kings, it'll blow your mind. Even though this is 1,000 years away from this time period, when we get into the Valley of the Kings, but they're still keeping with a spiritual principle of a Sar and a Set, the spiritual mother and father. So again, cosmology played a major role, and it had nothing to do with any extraterrestrials coming here to build the pyramid. Before they would say that it was done by a black man, they'll put it on the outer space before they would consider a black man and a woman one time.
Right.
All right? So I say that because people have come here with all kinds of madness, or whatever they call, okay, or all kinds of things. Okay, say that somebody else did it. That doesn't happen nowhere on the planet Earth, but on the African continent.
Right.
They don't say aliens built the Wailing Wall in China.
Right.
They don't say aliens built the Parthenon in Greece.
Right.
They don't say no, all these other places of the world. But when it comes to the African continent, where you are right now, the northeastern part of Africa, that's where you are. By the way, you are in the original Holy Land.
Right.
Holy Land is somewhere else. All right?
Absolutely.
People come here, they want to talk about Syria. They want to talk about Canaan. They want to talk about Israel. They want to talk about everywhere but Africa.
Right.
This journey, Kemet knew,
Right.
means black people know thyself.
Right. Right.
That's what we're talking about here. Because what we're talking about here predates all these things by thousands of years. Okay? And that's why somebody knows something about you that they don't want you to know about yourself.
Right.
So our purpose and objective here is to open up an ancestral genetic memory bank to start,
right.
to start the germination for the final emancipation.
Right.
And that's of the mind.
Right.
That hasn't taken place yet. Just because the chains were taken off your body, they were put on the brain.
Right.
So this
Mental
why this
genocide.
is the original Taneta land where we have got to make that final emancipation, brothers and sisters. So don't think that some holy land is somewhere else.
Right.
You're at it. This is it. Before any other place was known as holy, this is the original Taneta holy land right here where it all began. Right here. We're going to have a wonderful time. A wonderful journey. And all we want you to do is to open your mind and be free. All right? Because that's what the mind is for. Okay? You have a problem, to think out your problem. You you can pray about your problem and believe a lot of things, but that doesn't solve your problem until you use the organ called the brain to figure out things. And that's what we're doing on this journey right here, to figure out, okay, who we are and see the evidence for itself. Nowhere on the planet Earth can you see what you're going to see on this journey. We're going to have a wonderful time. Mary Wild and I, as you see, we got on there a trip of a lifetime. So that's our objective, all right? Not only to give you a trip of a lifetime, but to give you an experience that you'll never forget. So again, we want to start our journey. And again, we're looking at the north face, and that hole that you see up there was blasted in by Mahmoud. Aziz wanted to tear the pyramids down at one time, around 1179, he assaulted, and he realized the enormity of the job. And they gave up. Because they were built to last for eternity, brothers and sisters. And then also we see Abdul Latif, when he came here, and the white limestone covered the pyramid, the great